Disappearance of a pregnant Frederick woman and her 2 children has captured the nation's attention.
This house is not complete without anybody here.
Chris Watts will never reveal the full details of how or why he killed his family.
We're hearing from the suspect and his side of the story, a story police just don't believe.
Shock can arrive in an instant, upending ordinary lives and leaving communities looking for answers. 2 shocking cases show how life can change in the blink of an eye. One involves Chris Watts, whose actions destroyed his family. The other involves Amber Guyger, whose single misjudgment led to the death of her neighbor.
To the officer, I thought it was in my apartment, and I shot a guy thinking it was my apartment.
Never see him again. And I want to see him. I still want to see him.
In today's video, we examine these cases in detail, what happened, how authorities investigated, and the impact that followed.
My detective just showed up, so he'll probably want to talk to you. He'd probably, like I said, he might have you call at the bank and see if there's any kind of activity.
The morning of August 13th, 2018 began with growing concern when a worried friend contacted police to report a 15-week pregnant woman missing.
What's going on?
So my friend, we were out of town for a business trip this weekend.
All right.
And I dropped her off at 2 o'clock this morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant. She wasn't feeling well. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9, and I told her to let me know if she needed me to take her. She's got 2 little girls. And she was very distraught over the weekend, wasn't eating normally or drinking, and we kept trying to force it on her because she's pregnant. Her husband and her supposedly are separating, but she didn't know this. She thought they were just having issues. He disclosed that to me today.
Okay.
Because I called him, and I was like, have you talked or heard from Shanann since she left for work this morning? Because I can't get a hold of her. I've called, I've texted. Her car's in the garage. Her shoes she wears every single day are by the front door.
She only has 1 vehicle?
No, they only have the 1 vehicle and his work truck.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. There's not a...
She took the girls and went on a play date, but they're 4 and 2. She went on a play date. Why wouldn't she take in a car? They're both in car seats. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9, and she didn't go to the doctor's appointment.
Okay. No answer on the phone. Husband's on his way.
Supposedly, but he said that 30 minutes ago when I called him again, and he said there's 45 minutes out still.
Soon after, her husband, Chris Watts, arrived at the house and allowed officers inside. As they continued checking the home to confirm whether Shanann was there, their suspicions gradually began to grow.
You checked upstairs? She's not there? I just want to make sure she's not passed out somewhere. Is she diabetic? You mind if I look around?
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Oh, you're fine.
Go outside, outside, outside.
Oh, you're fine.
You're outside. You're outside. Down the phone.
Oh. Well, any friends that you know she would be hanging out with?
I mean,
I know, I guess her
Amanda,
parents are out of state.
Across country, North Carolina.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's not happening. She can play with it. Cool. All the girls' blankies are gone. Their blankies they sleep with, they don't leave anywhere without them.
Good. Nothing else appears to be missing though, just
No.
stuff you'd take for a quick trip.
You have full rings.
here? Yeah. Her phone's here.
Does she work?
Yeah, she works from
From
home.
home.
Oh, from home?
She works, this is her lifeline. Okay, when that thing turns back on, it's gonna start blowing up. Oh yeah, trust me.
Krista.
It was shut down?
She's in the play,
Yeah.
right?
As Shanann's phone was left at the house, the situation started to become more serious, so the officers began to ask them questions regarding Shanann.
How often does her blood sugar drop low?
Cassie, her friend in Arizona, said that that's the first time that's ever happened.
She normally has migraines, like a while ago, but she had them a lot this weekend.
Okay.
So Cassie's a nurse, so she figured it was because her blood pressure sugar was dropping.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't eating her normal that she normally eats. Like she takes a couple bites and said she was full.
Okay.
And she takes.
She doesn't ever black out or have
No,
seizures or anything like
No,
that?
I mean, a long time ago. She got in a car wreck, and I believe that's what happened. But Imitrex is something she takes for migraine. She took more Imitrex this last month than she ever had before, but that's just because she was in North Carolina with the humidity and everything like that. She was there for 6 weeks, and we got back Monday or Tuesday, and then she flew out to Arizona Friday morning, and then she got back last night about 2 a.m. Flight got delayed. She left about 11. She got here at 2.
Okay.
And I went to work this morning about 5:15, 5:30.
What do you do?
I work at oil and gas in Anadarko.
What do you do for them?
Operator.
Oh. Long days then?
Yeah, I definitely still be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a long day, especially in that heat. There's no like off text messages unless
Can you look at your camera to see from your security system to see when she left?
it's unless they left out the front door.
Because you told me that she went on a play date with the girls, and then
That's what she told me.
Addie said you told her that
Yeah, she went with some friends she went to go to a friend's house with the kids. That's why I knew they weren't at school.
Addie said you told her that she left in the middle of the night.
Oh no, she didn't leave in the middle of the night, no.
Yeah.
Where do your kids go to school at?
Primrose in Vista Ridge. Okay. Hey. Yeah. No. Yeah, she said she was at her friend's house. That's what she told me she was going to do.
Nicholas.
I have no clue whatsoever why she wouldn't take her cell phone.
In an effort to find her, Chris started calling family members and friends, but instead of answers, the situation only raised more concern.
It says at 5:27 a.m. the overhead garage door 2 was left open and never shut. About that time. So either like when I pulled away and shut the door, it never shut. It was shut when you got here. So either the sensor was tripping out, which has happened before. I've had to replace it 2 weeks ago. Before I left. It says the basement door was left open at 5:26. Visitor checked at 1:48. That's when she got home. And then the visitor checked at 12:10. That was when you came.
Were you able to pull up the video at the 12:10? See, was it the front
At
door?
12:10, that was Nikki.
That was you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was beeping at me out in the field.
Both Chris and Nicole provided some crucial information, which raised concerns about Shanann's whereabouts.
Her logins are different than mine.
It's not a joint account?
It's a joint account, but like she controls all of it. Like she doesn't let me do the finances because I was pretty horrible back in the day, so she just kind of handles all that and she does it. And I have the apps on my phone, but I don't have her login to get into it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's.
Can you log into your account though?
I can. No, I don't have a laptop, but she has the one downstairs still. But her login is different. Her login, I don't know her login. Like, I know the password, but I don't know her login. Her user ID is going to be. It's always the same password, 4281915 capital SW. But it's just a matter of getting the login.
Right, if she's getting gas or...
Yeah, somewhere.
Then the officers decided to confront the neighbor, and the neighbor allowed the officers to review their surveillance footage. That was the moment Chris found himself in a bad situation.
My camera. Lay down.
I'm loading my stuff up in my coolers, my water jugs, my book bag, my computers, some of the tools that I had from the toolbox. I knew I was going to have to do some pumping unit rubbers today. That's why I was out so far.
Is this on continually
Yep.
recording?
Yep. Well,
It's not, is it motion or is it?
event,
Okay, so it's motion.
any motion event that happens, I get cars driving from this street, and this is him at 517.
I usually park out there on the side. I just want to get everything back in. Be easier, so lugging everything out there, all the tools that I had to bring in. What else can I do with this?
My detective just showed up, so he'll probably want to talk to you. You'd probably, like I said, he might have you call at the bank and see if there's any kind of activity.
Because if there was any sort of action out
I know
there,
his camera's
I would have got it.
Like
Right.
we had issues the other week when people were stealing stuff out of like garages and stuff like that, and I had parked my truck
I
right
had
here.
to park right here.
Yeah. So someone,
See if
I could
anything
see where
happened.
someone tried to jimmy with a flathead screwdriver over there, and it was just like.
But if any action would have happened, any cars or anything left your house, I
Yeah,
would
if it would
have got
have
it.
been like right in that area, they should have picked. I mean,
Oh, it'll pick up anything coming down the street this way.
you know where that tree there too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Watch, I'll show you. There's nothing on here. We've already watched that one. But like, you'll see this car.
As the search for answers continued, the neighbor mentioned noticing something unusual on his security camera. The footage soon became an important piece of the unfolding investigation.
This seems kind of odd to me. Why would he pull that truck up and go to garage?
Right.
Yeah, I've never seen him pull it back.
I've never seen him. If he loads his stuff, he normally just walks back and forth because I get him on camera.
What does he usually load up?
All he usually has is a lunch box and a book bag, looks like a computer, and usually a water jug. That's it. But the fact that he was in here and explaining to it over and over and over,
Well, odd.
he doesn't look worried. He looks like he's trying to cover his tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if he's loading his stuff, why isn't he walking back and forth? But I can't see what he's doing in the back of the truck because he pulled into the garage. And he knows my camera's there.
Any other neighbors have cameras around here, you know?
I'm sure a bunch of them do, but not that I know of.
Okay.
You guys looking out?
Yeah, I'll look at it.
Yeah,
I'll do a search here in a minute.
all these Fords kept coming up missing, so we moved in here, I put this in. And like you said, someone was breaking into it. He said that someone was breaking into his toolboxes of his truck. So I told him he could park his truck out there in case they saw something. Diesel, I know you want to go play with the baby so bad.
Her mom was texted and said we did a report. She didn't have a GPS tracker.
Okay.
Just FYI.
Don't you think it's, look at the,
I know, I'm
kinda
trying
odd.
not to.
No, I'm just saying it's kind of odd that he pulls his truck back behind my camera. The cutoff, the truck's in the garage right now. And he never backs his truck into the
That's
driveway
what her
ever.
friend Christina that did it.
Diesel.
Got her know. She's like, he never backs his truck up. My mom said it too. She's like, he carries his stuff out from the house. He
Yep.
doesn't back his truck up.
Well, I have him on camera doing it when he does it. Because when he was parking his truck over here, the other thing that was odd is while she was gone, he kept parking his truck and her car over here. And I used to see him walk out of his house right
He
here.
took the car out of the garage?
Oh, the car was parked over there for a long time, like a couple days.
This past weekend?
No.
It was when she was gone for the 6 weeks.
Oh,
But I thought it was kind of odd that he never parked in front of here or right here. He said someone broke into his truck and he parked over here. I have no idea. Hey, he's acting so suspicious. He's normally, you can ask them, he's normally quiet, real subdued. He's over here telling you 3 times what he took out, what he did, what he did, what he did. He's very, he never talks. So the fact that he's over here blabbing his mouth makes me kind of suspicious.
yeah, but I mean, put yourself in his situation.
Oh, I agree.
You know, anyone's going to be nervous. You don't know what to do.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying the way he told you 3 times what he brought with him, why is he telling you exactly what he brought with him instead of saying, oh, they didn't see anybody out here, he didn't see anybody doing anything? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why is he so worried about you knowing what he's carrying out? That's all I'm saying.
The situation grew increasingly complicated, and with the missing woman still unaccounted for, the officer called in a detective to conduct a deeper investigation.
What's this? This is some Antarctica stuff. Is that your stuff? Yeah, that's the stuff I was going to give to some people because they don't fit me anymore. Oh, these are your jeans? Yeah, it's like 38s. They're way too big now. Okay, well, give us a call or anybody if you hear anything from her. Otherwise, I'm going to start putting together just in case we need to pull the trigger for a missing person. Yeah, well, I'm going to try to run some things down using her phone and then see if we can't find somebody. If nobody's heard anything at all, then we'll probably pull the trigger a little bit quicker. Go that route, so. I mean, you can do that now. You know, there's no reason. I mean, as far as like walking through fields and stuff like that,
No, I mean like a hospital.
you can do that now. If you guys want to start that, there's no reason you can do that right now.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, but the other things I'm going to do is a little more detail as far as digging into friends and addresses and things like that. But by all means, you have to call hospitals and hotels even, see if she's checked in anywhere, whatever. But all right, I'll start with the friends list of maybe friends either one of you know about. So
I called everybody that I know that she could
that
call
she
and
would
talk
know.
to.
Okay. All right.
And she has one of those numbers.
Yeah. I've got some of them. Okay. Want to talk before we go?
What about bank account checking into that? Do we need account numbers or anything, or have him call?
Yeah, find any credit cards. That's why I was asking about the credit cards if there are any missing. But
After examining the scene and gathering evidence, the detective intensified the investigation. The following day, Chris Watts was taken to the station for questioning.
See her mom, talk to my parents, talk to my sister, texted with Kelly, that's another, she lives in New Jersey. Oh, who else? Jeremy, Dave, all those people. Okay. All right. Can we talk about something that's kind of hard to talk about? So when I work investigations like this, I have to keep an open mind on everything. Okay. And part of keeping an open mind is listening to you talk about your wife and your marriage, and
The day she goes missing is the day that you guys have marital discord. Okay. So you can understand what I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Makes me sick to my stomach, honestly. Like, I know, like, I've talked to a few of my friends, like, this does not look good on you. I'm like, I know. It's like, if people knew that we were having marital issues, they're gonna look at me, especially with the way everything looks. And it honestly just makes me sick to my stomach, because this is something that I would never do. Ever. I know, like, you have to look at every vantage point. This is something I would never do to my kids or my wife at all. I'm not sure, like, what I could do, like, to make people believe that, just because if they knew we were having marital discord, they would automatically look at me. But there's no, I would harm anybody in my family at all. I know we were having marital discord, and we had that conversation that morning, and then she goes, we have no idea where she is, or the kids. I promise you that I had nothing to do with any of that.
During questioning, he recounted his version of events, but numerous inconsistencies and suspicious details in his story quickly made the detectives doubt the truthfulness of his account.
We talked a little bit about the morning that they disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
We already talked about 4 o'clock alarm, prepped until 4:15. Correct me if I'm wrong. 4:15, this challenging talk starts. You leave somewhere around 5:30ish, 5:20 something, 5:27. And then what was your day like?
So I went out to locations.
Where's that?
The oil locations.
Oh, locations. Okay.
Yeah. So I worked out on those oil locations until 12:10. That's when I got the doorbell visitor notification.
What do you do out there? What do you do at work?
I'll operate the oil and gas locations we have running.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like either maintenance or just like inspections or like trying to get them running again type of thing.
And are you the guy with the wrench or are you the boss?
I'm one of the field coordinators.
Okay.
So like the area we have is like really it's really big. So like I have me and 2 other guys are field coordinators. Then we have 2 rovers, which they like go around to the area and they help other operators. And we have 6 route operators. Okay. So the field coordinators, we kind of get everybody like, all right, this is what we're gonna do today type thing, and disperse type thing.
So then when you left at 5:30, which location did you go to?
So the Survey 319.
Which is
generally well location.
It's a well location?
Yeah, we have the Survey 1029.
Survey?
Yeah, it's just well names.
Survey?
Yeah.
Like SERVY?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was 1129, and we say the 1029 most of the day.
And so these are numbers I don't even understand.
I know, there's like section number, well number type things.
Okay.
That's how they name them.
Okay. So then it might be that, God forbid, 2 weeks from now, we're still looking for them. And it's going to be very important that all of this can jar your memory, right?
Yeah.
So I'm taking notes. Survey what?
So we have the 1129.
Where'd you go first?
The 319.
319. Where and what crossroads would that be?
Oh, it's out in the ranch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Survey 319. Okay.
Yeah.
How long were you at Survey 319?
Probably about an hour.
Okay. Just telling the boys what to do?
I was out there checking a line that we had leaking on Friday.
Okay. Okay, and that took about an hour?
Yep.
Then what?
Went to the 1129.
Okay. Again, is that just in the middle of a ranch?
Yeah, it's the same ranch.
Okay. Oh, so how far away?
Not far.
Walking distance?
No.
Oh.
Walking.
That's a big ranch.
Yeah, you don't drive there.
Okay. How long were you at 1129?
Probably about 20 minutes or so.
Doing what?
I was just doing an inspection over there. See if I can get the well to run again.
Okay.
This one you have to kind of run manually.
Okay. And then where?
The 1029. We were there most of the rest of the day.
Doing what?
We're trying to get a pumping unit to pump back up. And stuffing box rubbers were leaking and the rods were smoking, so we had to replace them. That's what took a very long time.
And how long were you out there?
The rest until 12:10.
So 6-7 hours?
Oh yeah, like,
5, 6,
yeah.
okay.
At least like 5 hours, it seemed like 5 to 6
And how many people with you?
Oh yeah, there are people with me. Like I gave them the names.
Okay.
There was,
The police know?
yeah, Troy McCoy, Chad McNeil, Melissa Parrish, Cody Roberts, they were all out there with me.
Under increasing pressure from the detective, Chris was reminded that both his wife and daughters were missing. Sensing something was wrong, investigators pushed for the truth.
You can imagine that every day that goes by,
It's harder to find.
where we don't find your girls, it's gonna get harder to find. We're gonna have less clues. Things that we need to get and we need to use, the methods that we need to do to find them are gonna start getting blown away by weather, getting re-recorded over themselves at the surveillance board that's gonna tell us. All of that is going to disappear, okay? And that's why we're gonna spend so much time today, tomorrow, as in the front as we can, right? You can also imagine that every day that goes by, we're going to be looking for the man who did this, okay? And you can imagine that we're going to include you as that man. So, let's talk about that. I think that you're trying to put on a brave face because you're a man and you're a father and you're a husband. I can tell that there's just something you're not telling me. And I'm not sure what it is. I don't know why that is. I don't know why you're not telling me, but there's something that's making you a little bit uncomfortable. I just don't believe some of the things you're telling me. Okay, I just don't. Simply do not believe it.
What makes you think? What have I said that makes you not believe me at all?
This just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't add up. So can we talk about two Chris's? Okay.
Two Chris's.
Caleb, two Chris's? Okay. And you need to help me know which Chris I'm looking at today and which Chris you really are. So, Chris number one is right here, right? And fell out of love with his wife. Okay. Started wondering what it might be. He didn't have a wife to take care of and a girl to take care of. Spent some time alone, liked that time alone, came home, may or may not have had a conversation about how to get out of this marriage or how to fix it, but probably how to get out of it. Is looking at a bachelor pad in Brighton and did something terrible to his wife and kids.
The real interrogation began on August 15th. After trying multiple approaches to get a confession, detectives turned to a new strategy. They brought his father into the room, hoping a conversation with him might prompt Chris to open up.
Hey Chris, we're gonna let you have however much time you need, okay?
Okay. You gonna leave us in there or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I know. Anything or?
This polygraph failed it. Yeah, because there's
Too much emotions.
So I mean, they're not gonna let me go.
Is there any reason why they shouldn't?
They know I had an affair. And they know. I can't complain about that.
They know you had an affair.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to tell me? What's going on, or what might have happened, or anything? Or you know anything about?
When we had that conversation that morning, it was emotional.
her. What? I don't want to protect her. You don't want to protect her? I don't know what else to say. What happened? Huh? She hurt him? Yeah. And then I freaked out. What now? I freaked out and I hurt her. You hurt her? Did they leave after that for a long time? So she started hurting kids. Paper. Tell you guys what happened. What? She smelled it. Or choking. No. I didn't hear anything. When I was downstairs, I came back up and they were gone. I don't know, like me talking to her about that. Talking to her about separation and everything, about like she lost it. I don't know, like, what else to say, like, I freaked out. Those are my kids. So she, it's not that one time, you were leaving the place and going to work. She freaked out over the separation and everything. Like, she laid back down, but that's when I went downstairs, but I heard like a little commotion upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it. And then you went back upstairs and she was... Never. I could see, like, she was on top of the machine. What, choking her or... Did she They're blue. Both of them? Yeah. She choked both of them to death. I freaked out at the same thing. How was it though? I couldn't like call the cops about it. So then we could do all the bodies off or something? I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I freaked out. I didn't know nothing else to do. I didn't know what to do.
Chris admitted that rising tensions in his marriage had driven his actions, using their relationship problems as justification. Still, detectives pressed him for cooperation to locate the bodies.
I didn't know if you needed help getting there. Yeah, I don't know. I think once we got that picture, because we didn't really know how much about the location that the other police officers knew, but it sounds like they knew somehow right how to get to 319. So, and I think that's how they got that picture. Does your nanny cam, do you have nanny cam, right? It's a monitor. Baby monitor. Is it a video one? It's like it cycles back and forth. Between what? Bella and Cece's room. Oh, okay. Okay. Is there any chance it records? No? Okay. I'm just wondering, what do you think ultimately made Shanann snap? Just knowing that affair, or she knew, she just needed me to admit it, and I would admit it. Yeah. Okay. So we just started talking about, I asked him if there's any chance that the nanny cam could have recorded Shanann doing what she did. And then we were just getting into, what Chris thinks about why she snapped. He's just saying distress from knowing about the other girl.
Knowing, but she didn't really know, right? I mean,
In her heart, she knew. She just wanted me to admit it.
Can we talk about a couple tough things? I think we need to get it out of the way and just really get it out, just to make sure you have every chance to explain exactly what happened and we have every chance to ask questions. So the conversation happened. You go downstairs. She's still upstairs. And then you see what?
I hear just commotion upstairs, just like little noises like that.
Okay, sure. Maybe walking around.
Maybe one of the kids is getting up, or
Yeah.
a fisherman got up, or something.
Okay.
And can't think of it. Continue just packing everything up and ready to go. So I can go back up and just talk to her again, maybe real fast. And go into their room, her master bedroom. She wasn't in there.
Okay, you went there first?
Yeah.
And why did you go up again?
Just to go up and talk to her again.
Okay. So it's not as though that noise made you run up, you just stopped?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Didn't.
Okay.
Grab anything in the register or anything like that. I just looked in the monitor and it was on Bella.
And where is the monitor, where's the screen that you look at? Is it up or downstairs?
It's upstairs.
Oh, okay, so you go upstairs, look at the monitor.
Yeah, everything's right beside the bed.
Oh, your master bedroom, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
beside the bed.
So she's not in her bed?
It's still right there.
Okay.
She wanted to look at it. And it was on Bella. Her covers were pulled back. And she was just sprawled out laying there. And then it cycled over. So they got 3, 4, 5 second interval between when it cycles from room to room. And it cycled over to Susie's room. And that's when I saw her on top of her. That's when I ran in.
Okay.
As the interrogation stretched on for over 6 hours, Chris slowly opened up, leaving investigators with the crucial information needed to connect the dots.
Go and stand up for me. I'm going to have you face that wall over there. Yep, just face it. Lift up your hands. Okay, go and face this wall. Okay, go and face me. Okay, you don't have anything on you, right? Okay, nothing in your pockets? Okay, go and face that other wall behind you. I'm just going to search you real quick. Spread your legs. Further. Okay, turn around and face me. No earrings, necklaces, anything like that? Okay. Let's walk out this way.
Chris was charged with multiple felonies, including 3 counts of. In court, the prosecutor described the harrowing tragedy, emphasizing the calculated nature of the crime and the haunting questions that may never be answered.
Describe the unimaginable tragedy that brings us before this court today. By my comments, I'm not even going to try to express the horror, the pain, or the suffering that the defendant has caused to these families, to this community, and to all who were a part of this investigation. However, I do want to spend a few minutes sharing with the court the details of the crime, as so far you've only had an opportunity to review the affidavit and a few facts here and there that have been offered to the court in the motions and pleadings that have been filed. The questions that have screamed out to anyone who will listen since August 13th of 2018 are why and how? Why did this have to happen? How could a seemingly normal husband and father annihilate his entire family? For what? These are the questions that only one individual in this courtroom or on this planet knows the answers to. I fully expect we will not receive the answers to these questions today, nor will we at any point in the future. I don't expect that he will ever tell the truth about what truly happened or why. Even if he did, there is no rational way that any human being could find those answers acceptable responses to such horrific questions. The best we can do is try to piece together some kind of understanding from the evidence that is available to us. And the evidence tells us this: the defendant coldly and deliberately ended 4 lives, not in a fit of rage, not by way of accident, but in a calculated and sickening manner.
Chris Watts's court case progressed over several months, and on November 6, 2018, it concluded with the plea deal he requested. After reviewing all the evidence and circumstances, the judge delivered the final sentencing.
So the court is going to sentence Mr. Watts as follows. With regard to count number 1, in the first degree as it relates to Shanann Watts, the court is going to sentence you, sir, to a life sentence in the Colorado Department of Corrections, followed with no possibility of parole. And that is going to run consecutively to all but counts 3 and 4. With regard to count 2, as it relates to the first degree with Bella, the court is going to sentence you to life in the Colorado Department of Corrections with no possibility of parole. With regard to count number 3, the court is going to sentence you as it relates to Celeste to life in the Colorado Department of Corrections with no possibility of parole. With regard to counts 4 and 5 relating to Bella and Celeste as a different theory of first degree, the court is going to sentence you to life in the Colorado Department of Corrections, and legally those sentences must run concurrently as a different theory of first degree. Recognizing the unlawful termination of pregnancy for the unborn child that has been named Nico, the court absolutely believes that the maximum sentence of 48 years would be appropriate to run consecutive to the other charges, with an additional mandatory parole period of 3 years as set forth by statute. With regard to count number 7, as it relates with a body, as well as counts 8 and 9, each a class 3 felony, the court is going to impose a maximum sentence of 12 years each for those counts to run consecutively to the other counts. The court is going to order that statutory fees be paid and court costs. The court's going to grant the prosecution 91 days to file a notice of restitution, and that will be the sentence of the court.
The tragedy in Colorado revealed a husband's calculated betrayal, shattering a family and shocking a nation. In our next story, a routine evening in a Dallas apartment spirals into chaos, showing how a single mistake can have devastating and irreversible consequences. A quiet evening in Dallas was interrupted by a 911 call from an apartment complex just before 10 p.m. on September 6, 2018.
Dallas 911, this is Carla. Where's your emergency?
Hi, this is an off-duty officer. I need EMS. I'm in number.
What's your address? Do you need police as well or just EMS?
Yes, I need both.
Okay, what's the address?
I'm at apartment number 1478. I'm in 1478.
And what's the address there?
It's 1210 South Lamar, 1478. Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm an off-duty officer. I thought it was in my apartment, and I guy thinking that he was thinking it was my apartment. He
911?
Yes, I thought it was my apartment. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Okay, and where are you at right now?
I'm in, what do you mean? I'm inside the apartment with him. Hey, come on.
What's your name?
I'm Amber Guyger. I need to get me, I'm in,
Okay, we have help on the way.
I know, but I'm gonna lose my job. I thought it was my apartment.
Okay, and
Hey, man.
Hold on. Okay, stay with me, okay?
I need a supervisor.
We have help.
Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Come on. I thought it was my apartment.
I understand. We have help
I
on the
thought
way,
it was my
okay? We'll just have them more.
The caller was off-duty police officer Amber Guyger, and officers met with a deeply alarming scene. As first responders worked frantically to revive Botham, Amber stepped aside, absorbed in a phone call. Inside the apartment, officers pressed on with life-saving efforts despite mounting challenges. On September 7, 2018, Texas investigators questioned Amber after the Dallas Police Department, recognizing a clear conflict of interest, stepped aside and handed the case to state authorities.
All right, so Amber, what I'd like to do is just kind of start with how your day started yesterday. I guess on the 6th. Something like that, right? Okay. If you would just start for me.
I wake up every morning, usually at 5:30, take my dog for a walk, get done by 6 o'clock, start getting ready for work. 6:30 I'm usually done. So I get uniform on about 7:15ish. I go to work, I live about 15 minutes away as a drive. Get to work about 7:30. Usually then we do a lot of intel with our group. Okay. So we try to work on a lot of the fronts. And so once we get once like our group and everybody gets once we get the intel, like stuff we're gonna work on for the day, we go out and we work on that. Yesterday Martin, my partner, and I jumped in the car about 8:30ish. So we've already looked at everything we're going to try to do for the day. About 12:30ish, we learned, we know we're going to assist SWAT in a warrant, so at 1:10, it's when we head up to Central. That warrant lasts a while. We're trying to find these robbery suspects that have been going through Mesquite, Palm Springs, Channel 7, to our channel. It takes a while they were all 3 stuck up in the attic. We eventually get them all out, and Martin and I, we transport our prisoner up to Jack Evans. Our other guys on the team transport them all to Jack Evans to a robbery unit. That's close to about 5:15ish. So my partner at that point, he has to go take care of some family stuff. And so it's me, Helen Gard, our McPherson, and Bruce. We're at headquarters. And once robberies and everybody gets done, the gang interviews the 3 suspects, we all take them down to Lou Sterrett to go put them in. McPherson's the one who types the report, and at that point, after the interviews lasted hours. So about maybe 7:30, we're at Lou Sterrett. McPherson's typed the report for 3 different arrestees. So about 8ish, we're done. We go back to the station, unload our stuff. About 8:15 to 8:20, I probably put my body camera up, and I went back to the back. We all filled out our overtime cards. I did my computer work and did my activity for the day. About that time, it's 8:45.
As Amber recounted the day's events to investigators, she explained approaching the unit she thought was hers, her emotions surfacing repeatedly throughout her account.
And I go up, it's a circle garage. I go up for the 100% sure I parked on the 3rd floor. I was like, so lucky, I got a front spot. Usually it's hard because I always carry my equipment. So it's I didn't have to walk a long ways, because that hallway I always walk down is so long. So I get out, I go down, I make left onto the hallway where my apartment's at, and I put the key fob in the door, and I don't even have to turn it. It's like the door's already cracked or something, so I push it, and I hear some movement around in the apartment, and so I automatically draw my gun thinking somebody's in my apartment that doesn't belong there. I'm the only one that lives there. No one does. And so when I open it, I pull my gun. I still have my bags and everything. I pull my gun out, and I see a dark body, like a silhouette, just standing in the very back. It's dark inside. I can't see anything. And so I say, "Let me see your hands." The person keeps moving around. I can't see where his hands are going. And so at that point, I feel like, you're going to kill me. Obviously, you're in my apartment. I feel like you don't belong there, so you see me, you're going to be spooked and be like, I got caught. And so I feel like you're good at me, and I know you're good at me. And then at that point, he's moving, and he somehow ends up more towards the front of the or like the front portion of the counter, I guess, kind of closer from where he was. And to me, you're advancing, and I don't know what the hell you're like. You're going to. And so I shoot 2 times. Then I walk in, and I'm still at gunpoint. I still have my gun out. And it's at that point when I get to the middle, I guess, the counter top, I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, it's not my home. I still have my gun out. I walk up, and look at him, and I'm like, I holster up, and I call 911.
She explained to investigators that she eventually understood the apartment was not hers, and once she realized her error, she attempted to help, performing CPR on the man she had shot.
Yeah, I know at first said, I need EMS. And they're like, what happened? I was like, I need police. I was like, pretty much I need everybody. They asked me, what apartment number are you in? I was on my knees trying to assist him. I was trying to do CPR on him with one hand. I was on the phone with 911. So I walked back outside because I was like, I'm at 1478. I live at 1378. And so I couldn't even get my numbers, like the actual physical address. I've lived there less than 2 months. I just moved there. So, and then at that point, once the other officers arrive, I hear them in the hallway trying to find me. So I step outside, and the first officer I see, he rounds the corner on, I guess, on the east side of the building, whatever side they came on. And I tell them he's in there. And I was like, I let them know he's shot somewhere over in here. That's all I can remember. And then they took me away.
After Amber finished recounting her version of events, investigators began a more detailed examination, carefully reviewing the timeline she had provided and cross-referencing it with the recorded times.
So, what was your shift that day?
Usually work from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
8 a.m. to 4 p.m.?
During that, I know 2 days, Monday, I can't tell you if it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I've gotten overtime almost every single day this week.
How many hours is overtime each day?
It varies.
Okay.
Last night was 5.5. The other Labor Day was 4 something. Because I was stuck at the hospital all night, and I still had to go to jail and type the report. And there was another day, I can't remember what day it was.
So if you worked 5.5 hours overtime last night, then you probably got off around 9:30. Would that be about right?
I dropped whatever my time card, I can't even remember what my time card says.
But you said you got home between 9 and 10, or you?
Yeah, I did an 8:45, I believe, is when I did my time card.
Okay, all right.
And my sergeant has that.
Okay. Do you remember when your last off day was?
Saturday, because I work an extra job on into Sundays.
So about 6 days ago?
Yeah.
Almost a week ago, okay. How many days had you worked prior to that, do you remember?
Every day. I don't usually take off unless something's going on.
Okay. So do you remember when your last off day was before this past Saturday?
No. Like my physical days off are Saturdays, Sundays, but Sundays I work the church, so technically I only have Saturdays and the only day off.
Okay. Who's your partner?
Martin Rivera.
And you said the unit that you're in. What unit is that?
It's crime reduction team.
Tell me about that.
We work along with our deployment guys. They're usually covert. We go around, we usually deal with a lot of the drug complaints in the area. I guess wanted fugitives. So, like, for instance, this deal with robberies we've been trying to work with for the past month. They've been usually going after Hispanic families. And so they finally got a house at 1709 L.C. Fay Hagen's. And we've just been trying to stay in that area and just trying to find out who these guys are, because there's more than 8. We only got 5 of them.
So would you describe your unit as more of a proactive unit?
It's more we do our own work. We try to we actually try to create work and research. Like go to a dope house, like try to go into our TLO system and find out who the owner of that is connected.
Okay.
Investigators probed deeper into the specifics of the incident, and Amber answered each question with steady composure, carefully walking them through the events as she remembered them.
So how many ways are there to get from where you park to your apartment? Or is there more than one?
Routes?
Yes, ma'am.
To go home and to, or like going...
Like you park your car?
I park my car, I go south on Lamar.
No, like you mean
home,
once you park it in the garage.
Oh.
In the garage at home, to go into your apartment from the parking garage.
I always just go in that middle, just because it's easier. Like I always have my stuff it needs. It's just a shorter route to go straight down that hallway.
Okay.
Unless I get home late, and then of course you have to walk the heck around. But you're home late, everybody's parked on the 5th floor. That's the top, so you know you're on the 5th floor.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only obvious. You know you're on the 5th or you're on the 1st. Are the only different floors that look different. Every floor looks the same.
Okay. Or is there assigned parking or anything, or you just
You
take
just
what's
park
there?
wherever.
Okay. Where'd you park?
I parked right in front of the door, kind of, because I was excited about getting a close spot.
What do you drive?
Dodge Ram 2014.
What color?
White.
Is that 4 doors or?
2 doors.
2 doors. Okay. So you get home between 9:10 and 9:15, and you said you were carrying your gear with you. What is that?
In my left hand, I had my heavy vest, my lunchbox. I don't know my lunchbox. And my duty bag.
Okay.
I walked down the hall, take my left, put my key in. The door, I don't even have to turn it. Like, the door looks open. I hear somebody. I see a silhouette. It's far in back. I say, let me see your hand. Let me see your hand. He doesn't do anything. Usually the typical person does this.
Mm-hmm.
They comply. And he did that. He did start an aggressive. He started going, hey, hey. And to me, you're yelling at me like, oh, you're about to do something.
What made you fearful? I understand that, you know,
In my home, there's an intruder.
Mm-hmm.
You're not listening to me. You're moving around. You're in the back towards the window, and then you advance towards like the front near the counter. So I still can't see your hands. You're not listening to me. You're and their reaction is you get caught. Oh, I'm getting out. You're the one that's going to be out. Just out of luck, I guess. Like I would have been the one that would have died. I thought he was good. I really did.
When you were walking down the hall to this door, did you hear anything? Did you see anybody?
There was no one. It was quiet.
Okay. When you were putting your key fob in, did you hear anything?
When I put it, it makes like an odd, because I don't know how to explain the key. I'm sure y'all seen the key already, but it's like an electric magnetic key.
Mm-hmm.
And it always, my floor, everybody's floor, everybody has problems with their keys. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes your light flashes red, so then you have to put it in. You have to put the key in all the time, take the key out, put it in again, and see if it works.
Have you ever discussed that problem with other neighbors?
No, I don't talk to anybody. I mean, the neighbor to my right, I'll see him sometimes on my patio. Nice guy, just so.
During her account of the events inside the apartment, Amber explained the problems she believed she faced, while investigators pressed her on the decisions that led to her actions.
Have you ever gone to, I guess there's management there, and let them know, hey, my key's jacked up or anything?
I did once because my key fob, I couldn't get into my own gate. And so they're like, oh yeah, the strip or something's wrong with this. Like, okay. I just moved here and I can't get into my own residence, so
Right.
it sucks.
And is that the same key fob is what you used yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the remedy for that? How did they fix that?
I guess they just like, whatever, how, I don't know how they do with their keychains or their key fobs. I don't know. They took it to the back.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Who was that you spoke with when you went there?
She was an older lady. Usually Sabrina's the only one down there.
Okay.
So
You know Sabrina's last name?
No.
Okay. So you get to the front door. When you open the door, did you visually see that the door wasn't latched?
I honestly just put it in. I didn't even, usually I'm like, oh, it's slightly ajar. You can tell it's open a little bit, it's slightly ajar. And so that's when I push in the key more, like the door opens a little bit and I'm like, someone's in here. I hear moving around. And so I automatically draw my weapon.
Okay. So the fob is actually part of the door, not part of the door frame, is that correct? Where you insert the key fob?
Yeah,
That's in the door?
That's in the door, yeah.
Okay, not in the frame. Okay, so when you, correct me if I'm wrong, when you're putting it in, I guess at the same time the door's starting to move?
Yes, that's what I mean, like it's pushed, like it's being pushed open.
Gotcha.
So
did you hear anything at that point?
that's when I hear moving around.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, this guy, someone's going through my stuff, or I don't know what he's doing. And so I was scared. I thought I was going to die. I don't know what else.
Can you describe what that movement sounded like?
Like shuffling. Like shufflings around, walking around. And when I open the door fully, there's someone standing in the very back. And I just see a silhouette. It's big. So that's what I can get out. I couldn't tell you what the person was wearing. I couldn't.
Okay. And you said it was dark in there, is that correct?
It was dark.
Okay.
I turned on the lights whenever I walked back up to the front because I can't see I can't see where he's hid.
Okay.
So that's when I turned on the lights and then went back over there, sat on my knees, was on the phone with 911, and then I hear the officers coming. Felt like forever, but I told them I'm over here.
Struggling to clarify her story, Amber was asked by investigators to reenact the sequence of events. Seeing her act it out gave them a direct view of what had happened from her perspective.
I guess the door frame,
You can demonstrate however you need to.
I don't know what you want.
Well, if I'm the door frame, so, and then the apartment goes this way.
Okay, so I'm literally like this, like still on the metal portion part, and I'm holding the door, going through the door frame. I'm holding the door open, and I see the shadow way back there, and that's when I draw, and I'm not trying to point at you.
No, you're fine, but do what you need to do.
So I draw. I said, "Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands." He was way back there. He ended up towards the armrest of the couch, closest to the kitchen, and I shoot 2 times. I'm thinking because he's moving around so much, he's not listening. People, when they say, "Let me see your hands," they're going to stop what they're doing. They're not going to continue moving. So,
In your experience, has that been the case usually?
like.
Outside of this, when you've commanded somebody to...
Yeah, they usually comply, or if they take off running, go run after them.
Okay. Was he walking towards you?
He was in the back of, like, towards the patio door, and he ended up more towards the front, like, and that's, I guess, when all he was moving around, and I was telling him, I was like, "Let me see your hands," and he was not giving me his hands.
Okay.
And it's pitch black. I feel like you're gonna freaking pull something out, and you're gonna
What else how dark do you think it was in
there was a TV on, I want to say, maybe, and that's it.
Okay.
I knew where the light switches were because they mirrored the same light switches in my apartment.
Okay. And I guess, is that how you were able to see the silhouette because of the ambient light from the TV?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's.
Does light come in through the patio door too?
I didn't see any of that.
Okay.
There was that TV.
What is the pistol you had?
It's a 9mm, serial number UU 646575.
And what make and model of the handguns?
Smith, or what the hell are we? 6R, 9mm.
Do you know if it's a 226 or?
It's a 226.
226, okay.
And Amber, you haven't slept since you got up at 5:30 the previous day.
Yeah.
How much sleep did you get the night before?
5 something, because I usually go to bed around like 12, and I worked overtime that night prior. So.
What time did you get off that night? That would be the night of the 5th, is that right?
I can't remember.
Okay. So you went to bed about midnight?
Yeah.
Got up at about 5?
Yes, 5:30.
5:30.
Amber was asked by investigators to show how she administered CPR to Botham. She complied, responding to their instructions and explaining each step as she went.
You holstered up and you started doing CPR, is that right? Or some kind of first aid? Walk me through that.
I get down on my knees with my left hand. I'm trying to call that one. I'm just push. That's hard. He's a bigger guy, so it's one hand. It's hard. And I have weak. I'm sorry.
So just describe how you were trying to administer CPR.
Someone's on the ground. I don't. Like, you want me to demonstrate how I was on my knees?
Just try to explain it.
Just explain to show you the hand movements.
His head's right here, and I'm just pushing down on his chest. And still, I'm gargling on one. I can tell I know he's hit right here. I don't know if he's hit anywhere else. I couldn't see. And so.
And how did you know he was hit right there?
Well, I didn't know until I turned on the lights.
Okay. And can you describe him after you turned on the lights?
I couldn't tell you what he was wearing. Nothing.
Okay. Did he say anything when you were working on him?
No.
Okay. Was he breathing?
He was breathing.
When questioned about previous use of force situations, Amber mentioned an occasion where she had employed her taser during the course of her duties.
Have you ever been through an incident before, either on duty or off duty, where you felt like your life was in danger?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you describe one of those instances, or however many you feel free to?
On duty? We work in Pleasant Grove. I've been involved in a deal where a guy took my taser, got into a fight with him, did what I had to do. I shot him.
Okay. Can you detail that for me a little bit?
Yeah, one of our deployment guys, Bacon, said that there was a wanted individual, felony warrant. Get behind the car. Long story short, there's 3 people in there. The guy in the back seat is the one that he ends up having Mandel. He's selling out the car. We're not there for him. We're there for the female. We never got a chance to identify her because he started moving around in the back seat with this box. So I asked him, I was like, hey, you're reaching for it. He said, no, it's not cool on the traffic stop. So, or on the market we were at. So my partner gets him out, he pats him down. As soon as he starts patting down, he just starts reaching to his pocket again. And so I was like, I still got 2 people. Okay, so we get into a scuffle with him.
Your reaction to him reaching into his pocket is to try and go hands-on.
Yeah, we're just doing a pat down at this point now, because now our level of fear has gone up. You have something on you. You're making me uncomfortable. You're obviously up to something. I mean, his body language, him not complying with Martin's commands. So once he starts pulling away from Martin, I notice that. I go over there, and that fight was on, and I told him, I was like, I'm pulling out my taser, I'm tasing him, and he takes my taser because we're up close fighting, and we get up on the ground, taser is in his hands, and I shoot him. You have the intentions of hurting me, my partner. You're not going to take our weapons.
When you say Mandel, are you talking about
manufactured? Yeah, sorry.
No problem. Describe that suspect for me.
He was a Hispanic male. He had, I don't know what he was wearing that day. Heavy set, tall. He had a big belly. I don't know, that's all I can say about him. I mean, in his 30s, late 30s.
Okay. Is that the only confrontation physical confrontation you've been in?
Or have you been in a lot over the
I've
years?
been over years. I can't tell you like one, like verbatim each one.
Okay. What was the outcome of that confrontation? Did that guy live?
Yeah, he lived.
Okay. Do you know where he is right now?
I think he's in prison
Okay.
for 2 more years.
Your work with deployment and SWAT, have you ever had any kind of threats placed against you because of your work as a police officer?
I mean, yeah, they threaten us all the time.
Okay.
I've had a guy on I went to a family violence call, and apparently this guy had spyware on his girlfriend's phone, and he could hear everything I was saying, and he goes, tell that little white I can see her. He goes, I got a target on her head, I'm watching her. And he described, he was reading my car, like everything. We were doing our body movements, so he was watching us somewhere. And she goes, he does this to me. He goes, it's creepy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And I documented that. I called intelligence on what the guy said, because he was sending these text messages saying, tell her she better look out, her head's the perfect size for a bullet.
Investigators sought to determine whether Amber's actions were accidental or intentional. They pressed her on how she could have failed to realize she was in the wrong apartment.
Can you describe the guy you encountered? Can you describe his apartment?
It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Same layout. The lights are in the same place. The whole thing is the exact same layout.
Okay. Are your floors the same? Okay. The countertops are the same, you said? Okay. Let's see what else. Tell me about your dog.
Ranger. He was born on November 14th of last year. He's a Yorkie.
Where was he yesterday?
He was at my mom's because they were doing a inspection, and I didn't want him running out.
Okay.
From the 4th until the 7th, they were doing inspections, but you don't know when they're going to come into your apartment.
Okay. Did you expect them to be there
From
last
the
time when you got home?
From the 4th to the 7th, I don't know when they're coming. So, they don't email you saying, hey, this person's coming into your apartment this day.
Okay.
I don't even know if they ever came in, so.
Okay. When you get home and your dog is there, when Ranger's there, does he make noise at all? Does he bark? Or?
No, he's just quiet.
Quiet. Where do you keep him?
He runs just like in the kitchen area. Like whenever I come home, I never let him in my bed when I'm at home.
Okay. But he runs around when you're not at home?
I don't know. I'm not at home, so I don't know.
No, but you don't keep him in a kennel.
No, he sits on the couch with me.
Okay.
So when I'm in bed, he follows me everywhere.
Okay. But when you leave, like for work, do you put him in a kennel or
No,
in the bathroom?
whenever I get home, he's sleeping on the couch.
Okay, gotcha.
So he doesn't. He's a lazy guy.
Okay.
Or he'll sleep in my bedroom, or like the bathroom that leads to my bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big area right, I guess, all my clothing, type of clothing on the bathroom floor area. He'll sleep on that.
Okay. At what point did you realize that wasn't your apartment?
When I got midway to that median that's in the kitchen, I guess. How would I
So you had fired 2 rounds.
Fired 2 rounds at the doorway.
You were
I
approaching.
advanced up to that median that pokes out, and I'm looking. I'm like, that is not my. I was like, that's not my couch. I was like, that's not my TV. And I know I've got to take care of this guy. I still got to render aid to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't until you got even with the kitchen counter, the counter that separates the kitchen from the living room.
Could you see any light from anywhere else before you turned on the lights? Besides the TV?
No.
Okay. How did you feel after, I guess, the scene settled a little bit? Describe that for me.
I was confused. My head went that was my apartment.
Describe that for me. Like, you say confused.
I was like, I guess the feeling of like, is this really happening to me? Like, is this happening? Like, I wasn't expecting to go home. I wasn't expecting that out.
Amber Guyger was arrested and first charged with manslaughter. During the course of the trial, the prosecution unveiled evidence that shed fresh light on the events, emphasizing troubling aspects and prompting serious doubts about Amber's actions and judgment.
Amber Guyger comes through his front door, uninvited. The light from the hallway must have flooded his apartment. The noise from the door must have scared him to death. As Bo was trying to get up off the couch to find out what this intruder is doing coming into his home, she is leveling off her gun, having acquired her target, and she shoots at him twice. No opportunity for de-escalation. No opportunity for him to surrender. Bang, bang, rapid, double tap. One of these bullets, we don't know which one hit him. We know there were two shots. One of them landed where it was aimed. The other one goes past Bo, goes through his back wall and into the darkness of the city behind. Thank God nobody else was hurt, because it's all residential behind there. The other bullet takes a very remarkable downward course, which is going to be indicative of the trajectory, and that's going to be very important. Hits Bo in the chest just above his left nipple. The path of that bullet goes down into his heart, does absolutely devastating damage. Goes through his lung, goes through his stomach, goes through his intestine, until it finally comes to a rest in what's called the psoas muscle, which is halfway between his stomach and his back, in a dense pack of muscle. This path is very revealing because it is consistent with the fact that Bo was getting up from his seated position and facing the door as Amber Guyger was coming into his home. The only other reasonable position that would explain that kind of a path is equally as innocuous for Bo. It would place him in a cowering position, hiding behind a 3-foot wall, a few feet in front of him, that separated him from the shooter. Now, the effect of this bullet was catastrophic. Bo had, as in medical examiner parlance, had a couple of steps of purposeful movement left in his body before he fell to the ground. And there he lay, on his back, in his home, bleeding to death, alone with his killer. So you might be asking yourself, as did we, how does Amber Guyger come to be standing over the dying Botham John, an unarmed man in his own apartment, having just shot him? Well, in order for us to get that answer, we began to work right away, reconstructing her day on September the 6th. So, we're going to get into that in a second, but I'm going to tell you the short answer is simply this. In the last 10 minutes of Bo's life, Amber Guyger made a series of unreasonable errors and unreasonable decisions and unreasonable choices. The kind of choices and decisions that only she could have stopped the errors from happening again and again and again, and she didn't.
By emphasizing the obvious distinctions between the 3rd and 4th floors, including illuminated unit numbers starting with 4 and distinctive decor, the prosecution made Amber's explanation of confusion seem unlikely.
Next to the door of this apartment complex there's a lighted sign. And on the lighted sign is the apartment number. It's a little bit different than most apartments. Everyone that I've lived in growing up, they always have the numbers on the door. But she lived there for 2 months. She knew where the apartment numbers were located. And she walked past 16 of those without recognizing. Well, maybe the explanation for that is she doesn't look straight ahead when she's walking. Maybe she looks down. All right? There are floor mat differences. Not major, but enough that you would notice that something isn't right. As she gets to the end of the first hallway, there's a sharp left turn. On the third floor, Miss Bly, a neighbor of hers, who lives in that corner apartment, she's got this really pretty decorative planter. It's big. It's tall. It's obvious. At least twice a day, you would think, for the last 2 months, Amber Guyger has walked past that decorative urn. And on this particular evening, it's not there because she's on the wrong floor. Doesn't register. Whatever is on her mind after that conversation has consumed her attention entirely. And she's missing obvious things. She then goes down the rest of the hallway because then she turns left. And she's walking up on Beau's apartment, 1478. And this is the one I really want y'all to hear. Amber Guyger has no floor mat in front of her door. Amber Guyger has nothing but the concrete floor. Gray, concrete floor that looks like the rest of the floor. Botham Jean wanted his apartment to be very noticeable. And he took steps to make sure that happened. In front of Botham's apartment is this extremely obvious bright red floor mat. Right in front of his door. I want to reiterate. Amber Guyger had no floor mat. She walked right up and stepped on top of this as she entered and placed her key fob into the deadbolt lock of Botham Jean's home. Now, unfortunately for Beau, it would seem that he didn't lock his door when he got home that night. We even recognize that it is a possibility that that heavy metal door, when it shut, hit the plate and may have not actually seated, so that you could actually just push the door open. But we know for a fact he didn't lock the door.
Joshua Brown, a neighbor, provided an alternate perspective, recounting that he heard Amber and Botham unexpectedly come face to face, shortly followed by the sound of a gunshot.
So Joshua, when you get into your apartment, what was the next thing you did?
The first thing I did was just checked on my dog, make sure everything was straight, and honestly, I went over the balcony and kind of like turned my game on and went off the balcony.
Okay, and when you went over to the balcony, did you see anything when you looked outside the balcony?
I seen it took a minute, but then I seen her come out.
And when you say her, you pointed over towards the defense table.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you see the defendant, Amber Guyger, come out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What did you observe her doing?
Just on the phone.
Okay. And were you on your balcony looking out the balcony door, or were you looking out the window?
I was looking at the balcony and then I went to the window.
And you see her on the phone. Can you describe her demeanor?
She was crying, explaining what happened, what she thought happened, saying she came into the wrong apartment, and that was about it.
Do you recall, Joshua, how long you were inside your apartment before you heard the defendant in the hallway?
Probably like 2-3 minutes.
At some point, did you go to your front door
Yeah, I kept looking out my front door.
Did you open the door or were you looking out the peephole?
I was looking at the peephole.
And when you're looking out the peephole, what do you see?
I just see her like going back and forth on the phone, and then I think she went back inside, then came back out.
So Joshua, I want to clear something up. You said when you hit the corner between the two hallways, you heard what sounded like commotion or surprise, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And it said that you heard voices that were kind of inaudible.
Like two voices mixing together at the same time, so that I couldn't make out what either one of them was saying.
Do you recall ever hearing someone say, "Hey, put your hands up" at a loud tone?
No, ma'am.
Or "Show me your hands"?
No, ma'am.
Or giving any type of those other commands that you would hear police say on TV?
No, ma'am.
The victim's brother offered forgiveness to Amber, creating a rare and deeply emotional moment that left a lasting impression on everyone in the courtroom.
I don't want to say twice or for the 100th time what you've or how much you've taken from us. I think you know that. But I hope you go to God with all the guilt, the bad things you may have done in the past. Each and every one of us may have done something that we're not supposed to do. If you truly are sorry, I know I can speak for myself. I forgive you. And I know if you go to God and ask Him, He will forgive you. And I don't think anyone could say it. Again, I'm speaking for myself, not even behalf of my family. But I love you just like anyone else. And I'm not gonna say I hope you rot and die just like my brother did, but I personally want the best for you. And I wasn't gonna ever say this in front of my family or anyone, but I don't even want you to go to jail. I want the best for you. Because I know that's exactly what both of them would want you to do. And the best would be give your life to Christ. I'm not gonna say anything else. I think giving your life to Christ would be the best thing that both of them would want you to do. Again, I love you as a person. And I don't wish anything bad on you. I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please? Please?
Yes.
After an hour of deliberation, the jury reached a decision. Amber Guyger's fate was finally determined and announced.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The jury having reached a verdict, Ms. Guyger and your team, would you please stand? We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Amber Guyger, guilty of murder as charged in the indictment. No outburst. And it is signed by the presiding juror, who is juror number 11.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Drop a comment below and let us know what you think. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you in the next one.